So colonists brought the Bible to Australia, and with it a whole load of British imperial baggage. And that's been part of this nation's story ever since. When European missionaries introduced the Bible to Indigenous communities, things got really complicated. Whose text was this? Could it be read in different ways to challenge the empire? The Goulburn River, northern Victoria, Yorta Yorta country. I'm here to find out about a man I've been reading about for years, the Yorta Yorta elder, William Cooper. He was born around 1860, and this is his grandson, Uncle Boydie.
He's a great man now. Yeah.
He looks like he's about to give a speech or deliver a petition. Yeah. Cooper was an extraordinary Australian, a leading figure in the struggle for Indigenous rights.
He was a man that was very passionate about his people and his family. He was taken to a mission at the age of 14, hadn't been to school, and he was taken there with his brothers and sisters. He had 2 brothers and a sister. The manager of the station, I think he took to helping, and he educated him to a stage where when he was 20 years of age, he was able to write a decent letter, and he did that for the rest of his days.
William Cooper worked tirelessly for human rights. In 1938, he called out the Nazi persecution of the Jews after Kristallnacht. The same year, he petitioned the king on behalf of his own people, seeking direct representation in Parliament. But his petition was blocked by Prime Minister Joseph Lyons. As early as the 1880s, he was petitioning for land rights on the basis of divine right, that this land had been given to his people by God and they deserved a portion of it at least. Yeah. What's your reflection on that claim for land?
Well, I think that the people were put on mission stations right across Australia, every state. And the people actually had nothing. And I think a lot of them pined for the land to be given back to them.
In 1938, Europeans celebrated 150 years of settlement.
On the same day, the 26th of January, Cooper was among those who observed a day of mourning, calling attention to the plight of their people and demanding Indigenous citizenship rights.
I spent the first 10 years of my life living with my grandparents.
That was in the 1930s. He'd been an activist for decades by then.
That's right. And I remember I used to go with him. He used to take me with him on a weekend. Hundreds of people would be on the banks of the Yarra River. And he always took a little stool that he stood on. I had to carry that stool. And they'd have speeches there, people talking about different subjects. And he would stand up on the stool and talk about his people and what predicament they were in. He couldn't afford train fares or bus fares, so we walked when I went with him.
What else do you think stayed with him from those mission days that he carried with him through his life?
Well, I think that he took a lot from the Bible, and what he'd learnt in the Bible was the things that he thought of, and he tried to do that with his people, look after them, and in the same way that you read in the Bible. And I think that he carried that right throughout his life.
One of the things your grandfather said was that Aboriginal people should work out their own salvation, which is a quote from the New Testament, to mean that it was about Aboriginal people having their own voice, flourishing in their own ways. What do you think Aboriginal people today want now?
It's something I don't know, but I hope it happens.
Cooper's activism lasted a lifetime. But even the most resilient people can be devastated by personal tragedy. His son, Daniel, was killed on the Western Front. Like more than 1,000 Indigenous Australians, Daniel Cooper fought under the banner of the Australian Imperial Force during World War I.
He was 21 years of age when I think he signed up at Yarrawonga, him and another cousin, and they were sent overseas, and he was killed in the battle against the Germans, and it was a big knock to grandfather. He could see no reason why Aboriginals should go and fight in another country when they had nothing in their own country. He could see that they had nothing and shouldn't be over there fighting for them. But I think he changed his mind later on in life.
Why did he change his mind? Not because things got better here in Australia.
I think because he, like all Aborigines, loved their country, and I think that's why a lot of the boys, thousands of them, signed up to go to the Second World War.
When the First War broke out, Australians called it the Great War, the war to end all wars. 5 years later, there were 60,000 dead.